My stepsister Bella put saffron in my tea during the college entrance exams. The abdominal pain was so intense that I had to be carried out of the examination hall. The blood from my period stained the white stool a deep red, but my father dismissed it. "Your sister is just a child," he said, waving it off. My stepmother, Diana, pregnant and smug, sneered, "That's too much blood for a normal period. Maybe she has some kind of disease." My grandmother complained that I was a financial burden. "A simple exam and you need a hospital? You're always sick, always costing us money. Why don't you just die?" I did. I died from blood loss. But then, I opened my eyes. I was back in the time right before Bella drugged me. This time, I took the cup of tea she had prepared and replaced it with the flower tea my stepmother drank to calm her nerves. That night, the sound of an ambulance filled the air. In my previous life, my death was slow and agonizing. My grandmother, ever frugal, refused to let me stay in the hospital for observation. She pulled the IV from my arm and forced me, weak and anemic, to walk the 5 kilometers home. "I've never heard of a woman dying from her period," she scoffed. "Besides, your stepmother is giving birth in 2 months. We need money for diapers and formula. You should think about the family for once." When the doctor suggested a simple antibiotic to prevent infection, my grandmother refused. "We have medicine at home," she insisted. She gave me her own pills meant for treating blood clots, a simple mistake that cost me my life. Fearing I would try to see a doctor again, she locked me in my room before leaving. The next day, my father's company had a 5-day team-building trip. He was the boss, so he took the whole family, everyone except me. The house was empty for 5 days. It wasn't until the neighbors complained about a strange smell that my body was discovered. My family felt no grief, no regret. My stepmother had given birth prematurely, and they were overjoyed to welcome a grandson into the family. My grandmother thought a funeral would be bad luck at such a happy time, so she outsourced the arrangements. Not a single member of my family attended. I couldn't understand it. I had tried so hard to be good, to please them, to not compete with Bella for my father's attention. I never made things difficult, and yet this was my end. I was so unwilling to accept it. I wanted another chance. When I opened my eyes again, it was the night before the college entrance exam. This time, I wanted nothing from them, not a father's love, not a stepmother's acceptance, not a grandmother's approval. After my evening study session, I was at the entrance, changing my shoes. "Chloe, watch out for my belly," my stepmother said, pushing her shoes into the cabinet ahead of me. My father was home, of course. He shot me a look that could kill. "Chloe, are you blind? That's my wife. Do you expect her to bend down and serve you?" Diana was my father's first love. He brought her and her daughter home less than 6 months after my mother died. He treated her like a treasure, and her daughter, Bella, was the apple of his eye. "What are you just standing there for?" my father yelled. "Go get some water." It was my daily chore to wash and massage my pregnant stepmother's feet. Even with the pressures of my final year of high school, I never missed a day. I did it because I knew my father worked hard, because I wanted to keep the peace, and most importantly, because of what my mother told me before she died. "Chloe," she had said, "after I'm gone, if your father brings another woman into this house, don't fight it, don't make a scene, just hold on until you're an adult. Everything will be all right." She left me an inheritance large enough to challenge my father's position in his own company, but I could only access it when I turned 18. I was killed before I ever had the chance. I had been too foolish, too caught up in playing the part of the perfect daughter. Not this time. My father was waiting for me to kneel and wash his wife's feet. Instead, I leaned against the wall. "Is the man of this house for decoration?" I asked calmly. "Your wife's feet are swollen, and you want your daughter who has exams tomorrow to massage them? Was your only contribution to this pregnancy a few seconds of effort?" My father was stunned into silence, unable to believe what he'd heard. Just as his anger started to build, Diana stopped him, a tear perfectly poised on her eyelash. "Robert, don't scare her. The college entrance exam is tomorrow. Chloe has her heart set on Northwood University." My father sneered. "If she gets into Northwood, I'll sign this house over to her." Diana's eyes widened in panic, but she quickly composed herself. "Oh, why argue with a child? Besides, if Chloe goes to Northwood, she'll probably settle in the city. She won't need this house." The location wasn't the point. The point was, she knew I could win the bet. For 3 years, my stepmother had carefully curated my image for my father. When I was at the top of my class, she said nothing. When I made one mistake on a math test, she told everyone. I was, in my father's eyes, a rebellious girl with mediocre grades. Fine, my father said, waving his hand dismissively. We'll buy her one in the city then. My ears perked up. Dad, I want a 5-bedroom apartment. Diana was shocked. Chloe, you're so young, you don't need a house that big. Oh, but I do, I said, counting on my fingers. 1 room for Grandma, 1 for you and Dad, 1 for my sister, 1 for the new baby, and 1 for me. It's the perfect size. Diana forced a smile. How thoughtful of you. In that case, maybe a 6-bedroom so you can have a nursery. My father wrapped his arm around her. Diana, don't worry. The bet is about Northwood University, not Ridgeview Community College. She has no chance. I quickly produced a piece of paper and a pen, drafting a contract for our bet. I didn't want him backing out. Dad, should you sign or use your fingerprint? He signed it. Diana was left speechless. Later that night, I got my period. It was 10 days late, perfectly timed for the exam. I would later learn that Bella had been putting progesterone in my milk for weeks. My stepsister, only a year younger than me, was just as cruel as her mother. This time, I went downstairs 10 minutes earlier than I had in my past life. I heard them through the door. That girl has been playing the innocent flower for 3 years, Diana was saying. We couldn't find a single thing wrong with her. Finally, she's showing her true colors. She wants a house in her dreams. Mom, the saffron you wanted is ground into a powder, Bella said. Good. Be careful when you add it, Diana replied. I don't know, though. She seems different today. Bella laughed. How? I put dust tablets in her drink for half a month, and she didn't notice a thing. She was just complaining that her period was late. At first, I just wanted her to fail the exam and end up at some technical school, Diana sneered. Now it looks like she won't even be able to finish the first test. I got to the kitchen before Bella. I poured out the tea they had prepared for me and replaced it with my stepmother's dark-colored calming tea. I was certain Bella wouldn't know the difference. In the early morning, a woman's scream echoed through the house. Robert, my stomach, it hurts so much. Help me. I opened my door to see my stepmother writhing on the sofa, a pool of red spreading beneath her. My father held her hand, trying to comfort her. Diana, don't be scared. The ambulance is on its way. Our baby will be fine. I couldn't help the small, cold smile that touched my lips. The difference in his concern was so stark. On the day my own mother was dying, my father claimed he was busy with work. My grandfather had to threaten him with a kitchen knife just to get him to come to the hospital. Seeing Diana weakening, my grandmother pulled my father aside. Save the baby. You have to save the baby. She had wanted a grandson for decades. Robert, think about it. You're 46 and Diana is 40. You can have more children, but can she? My father had ignored these same words when my mother was alive, but now, for Diana, he couldn't stand it. Mom, even if Diana can't have another child, I'll only ever love her. If you want a grandson so badly, you can go adopt one. I'll pay for it. Grandma backed away, muttering under her breath. I put on a worried expression. Auntie is bleeding so much. What about an infection? The doctor said an antibiotic might help reduce inflammation. I have something for that, Grandma said, turning to fetch 2 pills. She forced them into Diana's mouth. Mom, you can't just give her random medicine, my father protested, but he didn't stop her. Nonsense. I take this every day and I'm fine. Is your woman the only one who matters? The ambulance arrived. The paramedics were shocked at the amount of blood. Is the pregnant woman's platelet count normal? One asked. Even the blood from the IV insertion isn't clotting. Normal. Everything is normal, my father recited, having memorized all of Diana's medical details. What did she eat? The paramedic asked. She didn't have dinner, Bella answered quickly. She only drank her calming tea. This was my chance. Sister, I said, didn't you put something in Auntie's tea? There was still a faint red powder under Bella's fingernails. Diana's eyes widened in realization, but she was too weak to do anything but accept her fate. My father stared at Bella. Bella, what did you add? Tell me. Bella trembled. I don't know, Dad. I didn't mean to. The family has to tell us the truth, the paramedic insisted. Otherwise, we can't treat her properly. My father slapped Bella across the face. Are you going to talk? Saffron, she whispered. The paramedic was horrified. You're trying to kill a pregnant woman. My father raised his hand to hit her again. I stepped forward as if to stop him. "Dad, she's still just a child," I said, using the same words he had used to dismiss my own pain in my past life. He slapped her again. 16 is not a child." Bella's face was already swelling. "It's not my fault," she sobbed. "Grandma gave her medicine too." Hearing this, Grandma immediately defended herself, holding up the blister pack. "Mine is for inflammation." The paramedic took one look at it. "This is an anticoagulant." For the first time, my father screamed at his mother. "Mom, how many times have I told you not to play doctor?" "You're old, it doesn't matter if you die, but that's your grandson in her belly." It was almost funny. I had been hospitalized for taking the wrong medicine at her hand more than 10 times, once going into anaphylactic shock, and he had never said a word to her. Grandma collapsed to the floor, crying. Bella was sobbing. Diana was in too much pain to make a sound, and my father was sweating with worry. I was the only one in the family who was completely calm. It turns out a slap only hurts when it lands on the face of someone you care about. The entire family, except for me, went to the hospital and didn't return that night. I slept soundly. The next day, I went to my exam feeling relaxed and clear-headed. My grades had always been in the top 3 of my class, and since my rebirth, not enough time had passed for me to forget anything. I answered the questions with ease. At 8 that evening, my father called me for the first time in what felt like forever. He said that both Diana and the baby were safe, but they would be staying at the hospital for a while. The baby was premature, weighing only 2 kilograms, and needed to be in an incubator. Through the phone, I could hear the joy in his voice. "Have you picked a name?" Grandma asked in the background. "Max," my father said. "Diana and I chose it 20 years ago." I smiled and hung up. I remembered asking my father as a child what my own name, Chloe, meant. He had been busy and brushed me off. Now I knew. It was all a placeholder. But he didn't know that his long-awaited heir wasn't his at all. My mother had told me before she died, "Your father is not a good man." He had started in real estate, and an accident at a construction site had left him sterile. The doctor gave him a choice: remove the damaged vas deferens or attempt a difficult repair. My mother, already in the late stages of stomach cancer, didn't hesitate. "Remove it," she said, and the operation was done without my father's knowledge. She knew he had never forgotten his first love, Diana. So before she died, she did 2 things for me. First, she ensured I would be his only child. Second, she transferred all of her assets, properties, and funds to me. She left me a business card. "Chloe, when you become an adult, go to Mr. Grant." My birthday was in August, only 2 months away. Soon, the exams were over, and I had no excuse to avoid the hospital. As I approached the maternity ward, I heard Diana's voice. "Honey, I've given you a son. Why are my feet still so swollen?" "Then let Mom massage them for you," my father replied. "How could Mom do it properly? Chloe's massages were so good. It's a shame she's so busy." "What's she busy with?" "The exams are over," my father said, pulling out his phone. "I'll tell her to come and massage you right now." The phone rang. "Got it, Dad," I said and hung up. Fine, I thought, I'll show you how good I am at this. When I arrived at the hospital laden with bags, my father was surprised. "I told you to come right away." "Why are you—" He trailed off, looking behind me at the group of people following me, some carrying cameras. "Why did you bring cameramen?" I ignored him. In front of the cameras, I laid out my gifts one by one. 2 bags of diapers, 2 cans of formula, a postpartum belly band, and a stainless steel wash basin. "Did you get that, Brother Wong?" I asked the cameraman. "Maybe a profile shot too?" "No problem," he said. "Let's get your back view as well." My father finally pulled me aside. "Chloe, what are you doing?" "Oh, Dad, we're too far away. The microphone won't pick up the sound," I said, then raised my voice. "Dad, I've come to take care of my stepmother during her postpartum period. You can leave everything to me." My voice echoed in the ward. I then explained in a lower tone, "Our teacher assigned us a vlog project to play at the teacher appreciation banquet. I was filming when you called. I thought I could combine the 2 projects to enrich the material." My father's face turned pale. A daughter taking care of her stepmother's postpartum needs? The story would make him a laughingstock, and it was going to be played in front of all my teachers. He waved his hands frantically. "I don't need you. Take them and leave, quickly." I looked disappointed. "So I don't need to take care of her today or ever?" This is really meaningful material. Maybe I can come back another time? By the way, I bought books and learned 35 different postpartum massage techniques. How noisy! Get out! He yelled, and the door to the ward slammed shut in my face. I knew he would never ask me to massage Diana again. The task fell to Bella. My father asked, and she couldn't refuse. After all, I had done it for my entire senior year. She was only a sophomore. How could she be busier than me? Besides, Diana was her biological mother. Every time I saw Bella's reddened wrists, I would add a little fuel to the fire. Wow, your hands are so red, sister. Dad and the others would be heartbroken if they saw them. I'm different. They won't even let me touch her. You're so good at this. I'm so envious. As I expected, it wasn't long before Bella exploded, smashing things in her room. Am I a nanny? This used to be Chloe's job. Why is it mine now? I have final exams and my hands are shaking. It took Diana 3 years to turn my father against me, but it only took me 3 days to drive Bella to her breaking point. On the day Diana and my new baby brother were discharged, my grandmother was sent back to her home in the countryside. I scored 722 on my college entrance exam, first in the city. Bella, on the other hand, scored only 501 on her final exams, dropping 200 places in her grade. In front of relatives, my stepmother berated her, saying she wasn't smart enough and didn't know how to work hard like her excellent older sister. Bella's eyes turned red. "Auntie, you're wronging my sister," I said, suddenly defending her. Bella only got a 72 in Chinese because her hand cramped halfway through the exam and she couldn't finish the essay. The subtext was clear. It was because of massaging you. Bella's eyes welled up with tears. "Since your son was born," I continued, addressing my stepmother, "have you paid any attention to your daughter? She massaged you until her wrists were raw, just so your swelling would go down. Were you thinking about her then, or about your perfect little son?" That was the final straw. Bella burst into tears in front of everyone. The family's reputation for favoring the son over the daughter began to spread, and Bella started to believe it. She and I grew closer. I gave her gift tassel earrings, headbands, necklaces. She loved them. One day I saw a clump of long hair in the baby's hand. "Have you been losing hair?" I asked Bella. She rushed to the mirror. "Oh my God, it's true." In a fit of rage, she started pulling the baby's hair. My stepmother was furious and uttered the phrase that started a war between the siblings. "You're the older sister. What's wrong with giving in to your younger brother?" That was it. Bella picked up the baby and ran to the balcony. "Is your son the only one that matters? If you felt that way, you shouldn't have had me. Let's see who gives in now." No, Mom's wrong, Bella, don't be impulsive." Diana's legs trembled with fear. After that, Bella was never left alone with her brother again, and she and I became even closer. "Are you going to Northwood University?" she asked me one day. "Yes. Why?" "My mom wants me to find a way to steal your admission ticket and password. She wants to change your application." It was just the kind of despicable thing I expected from her. "Then why are you telling me?" I asked. "She's planning to use the money that was meant for your house to set up an education fund for her son," Bella said, tying her hair back. "I thought about it. It's better that you get it than him." As she moved, her shirt lifted, revealing a fresh bruise on her side. "Did Auntie hit you?" I asked, feigning concern. "It's okay," she said with a dark look. "If she hits me, I'll hit her son." The family held a lavish full moon banquet for the baby. My stepmother planned a traditional 1-year-old catch ceremony with gold bars, abacuses, and even a golden plaque engraved with the words "Education Fund." She was truly calculating. Just then, several cars pulled up to the hotel. A reporter with a microphone came in asking, "Excuse me, is this the banquet celebrating Chloe, the top scorer in the college entrance exam, getting into Northwood University?" My father was caught off guard. He hadn't planned any celebration for me. He forced a smile. "Chloe's celebration banquet will be held a week after she receives her admission notice." The reporter turned to me. "Where do you plan to apply?" Before I could answer, a representative from another top university, Summit University, handed me a business card. "Come to Summit. We'll waive your tuition and give you a 50,000 yuan scholarship every year." Another recruiter from Northwood quickly countered, "We'll double that." The crowd buzzed with excitement. My father beamed with pride as people congratulated him. No one cared about the baby anymore. All eyes were on me. I shrugged. Sorry, but I have to go with the 5-bedroom apartment. I pulled out the contract I had made my father sign. The words were clear. With so many witnesses, my father couldn't deny it. He had to agree, practically promising to sign the house purchase contract on the spot. Suddenly, a scream came from the crowd. Diana had fainted. She fell ill after that, still trying to negotiate with my father. Chloe is still young. We can buy the house when she gets married. I shook my head. Auntie, it takes a year to decorate and 3 years to air out the fumes. I'll be graduating and getting married by then. Buying it now is perfect. My father was tired of the subject. Diana, it's just a house. I made a promise. If I don't buy it, I'll lose face. It was the first time I had ever seen him be firm with her. What about me and my son? She cried. What about you? Are you homeless? Are you starving? But the money you're spending is our joint property. My father fell silent. Are we really a couple? He finally said, leaving the room. It was a sore spot for him. He and Diana had never gotten a marriage certificate. Her ex-husband was in prison and refused to grant her a divorce. Technically, my father was still the other man. I had known for a while that Bella had a cruel streak. I had seen her pinch the baby, leaving marks on his skin, and even prick him with needles. Diana finally discovered the injuries and began looking into second child training camps. I made sure she found plenty of information, both online and in print, about how these camps reformed older siblings into obedient helpers. She was tempted. Little did she know these places used torture and abuse to break children's spirits. It was a fitting destination for Bella. A few days later, my father went on a business trip. That night, during a heavy rainstorm, I watched from my window as several large men in black dragged a screaming Bella into a car. My methods were cruel, but were they as cruel as theirs? I had also been investigating the true parentage of the baby, Max. My stepmother rarely went out alone, but my father's driver, Mr. Davis, often picked her up for dates. One night, I saw my father taking hangover medicine. Another candlelit dinner? I asked. What dinner? He said. Since your aunt got pregnant, we haven't gone out alone. In that moment, I understood. My stepmother was having an affair with the driver. It was easy enough to get a sample of Mr. Davis's hair and install a camera in the car. I had my evidence. At dinner, I presented my admission notice from Northwood University. Before I could say anything, my father brought up the house. I've looked at the one you chose. It's not far from the university and it's already furnished. You can move in right away. He pushed a bank card across the table toward me. Sign the contract as soon as possible. My stepmother was furious, pinching the baby in her arms until he cried. All you do is cry, she hissed. Nothing in this family belongs to you. My father snatched the child away. Diana, why are you acting like this? Should I act like your dead wife? Work her whole life and get nothing? Diana sneered at me. Chloe, you don't know, do you? The day before your mother died, your father and I were together. I told him I hated the smell of hospitals, so he didn't even go to see her. But my mother wasn't pitiful. She knew everything. She didn't care. She was looking forward to death, to being reunited with her own first love. My father was just a substitute. I walked over to my stepmother and grabbed her hair. And what about you? Besides my father, who else have you been with? She pushed me away, calling me crazy, and stormed out, leaving my father to drink alone. Later, he was drunk and rambling. Chloe, do you think I was wrong? Your mother was such a good person. Why didn't I cherish her? I really think Diana is only with me for my money. I shook my head. No, Dad, she's with you. And your driver, Mr. Davis. After that, my father and Diana entered a cold war. I had a quiet 18th birthday. I bought myself a cake and ate it at my mother's grave. It's so funny, Mom, I told her. Dad still doesn't know he's been cuckolded. He's so happy about his son. By the way, I have the paternity test. It's Mr. Davis's. When do you think I should tell him? I sighed. I'm an adult now, Mom. After I finish this cake, I'm going to open your gift. Mr. Grant, my mother's college classmate, explained everything. My mother had left me 80 million yuan. It was an unbelievable sum. Yes, he confirmed. Your mother liquidated your parents' joint property before she died. She had 5 million in liquid funds, 2 houses, and 40% of the company's shares. The houses were transferred to your name immediately, and your father held the shares in trust for you. Your mother was a brilliant investor. The shares have increased in value more than tenfold. After commission, it's about 80 million. The house my father and Diana lived in was in my name. I finally understood what my mother meant by, hold on. I could kick them out at any time. I asked Mr. Grant to help me sell the company's shares at a low price. My mother had said the real estate industry was in decline, but my father, sentimental over Diana, whose birthday was encoded in the company's registration number, refused to change course. Her birthday was in 2 days. I would prepare a special gift. At her birthday banquet, I saw my stepmother on my father's arm, with Mr. Davis helping in the background. "Chloe, you're here," she said in a good mood. "Is that a gift for me?" "Yes," I said, opening it. It was a face recognition clock in machine. I demonstrated it. "Beep, the card of the most beautiful girl in the universe," the machine announced. "How fun," Diana said. "Let me try." "Beep, the card of the one with a longer life than legs." Mr. Davis, who was standing nearby, laughed and his face was caught by the camera. "Beep, Mr. Davis's card." My father took the machine and looked at it. Suddenly, a mechanical voice announced, "Beep, cuckold card." The room went silent. Later, during the speeches, Diana went on stage and professed her undying love for my father. "For this reason," she concluded, "I made a video to witness our love." The big screen lit up, showing a shaky video taken from the passenger seat of a car. It was Diana and a man who was clearly not my father. The audio was damning. "When will her son be able to call me daddy?" a man's voice asked. "Call you daddy? Can you afford to raise him?" The staff finally shut it off. My father stood up, staggering. Mr. Davis fell to his knees. "President Robert, I'm sorry. She seduced me. I need this job." Diana also knelt, grabbing my father's leg. "Robert, you said you'd always love me." My father kicked them both away. A jade bracelet on Diana's wrist, a family heirloom my mother was never deemed worthy of wearing, shattered on the floor. My father started to cry. I took a photo and sent it to my grandmother. "It seems your family legacy is over." A few days later, my father and Diana were back together. I called a moving company and a locksmith and, in front of Diana, began packing their things. "Your father won't even kick me out," she screamed. "Who do you think you are?" I held up the property ownership certificate with my name on it. "Diana, I can throw you out without a second thought." She lay on the floor, refusing to move. I turned to the mover. "You said it's 80 yuan for large items and 40 for small ones. Is this a large item or a small item?" She cursed at me, and I recorded it and called the police. She was forced to apologize and pay me 500 yuan. After being kicked out, my father rented a small apartment. His business suffered, and his quality of life plummeted. The video of the birthday banquet eventually reached my grandmother. She had a stroke and was hospitalized. My father was too busy with his failing company to visit her. I certainly wasn't going to. Northwood University was about to start, and I had a 5-bedroom apartment to decorate. I also posted an ad on the school forum, "Exquisitely decorated apartment for rent at a low price. Only good-looking students from Northwood University are eligible." By the way, I heard Diana couldn't afford the fees for the second child training camp anymore. Bella was coming home.